Hello, my name is Savannah Bishop, and today we are going to be talking about the Incredibles Family Assessment. The next thing that we're going to be looking at is the family composition table for the Incredibles family. As you can see, Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl are married, and they do have 3 children, Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack. While Violet and Dash are both the daughters, Jack Jack is the only son. Mr. Incredible is 46 years old, and his highest level education is a bachelor's degree, and he's a bank manager. Elastigirl's highest level of education is a master's degree. She's 44 years old, and she's a counselor. Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack all attend school. Violet is a 20-year-old that is a student in college. Dash is a 17-year-old, and she's a student. She's in 12th grade. And Jack Jack is 13 years old, also a student in 8th grade. For this assessment, I used 2 theories to collect my information. The first one that I used was the systems theory, which is a theory of human behavior that defines the family unit as a complex social system and how they interact with each other. And the next one that I used was the Duval's family development theory, and this was used to assess the stage the family was in. This is the genogram I put together for the Incredibles family. You can see Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible are married through a horizontal line that connects them. On the left upper corner, this is Elastigirl's parents. We're going to refer to them as Grandma and Grandpa, and they do have 2 children. Elastigirl does have a brother, Frozone, and then you have Elastigirl. If you look at Mr. Incredible's side, he also does have 2 parents. We're going to refer to them as Nana and Pop. They are both divorced and remarried, which the blue scattered line, as you can see in the legend, correlates with divorced, and the yellow dash is going to mean they are remarried. The vertical lines are going to mean children. So as you can see, Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible do have 3 children, Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack. And I do want to talk a little bit about their medical history with Elastigirl. As you can see throughout this family, anxiety does run with Elastigirl, Mr. Incredible, Violet, and Dash. Mr. Elastigirl also has skin cancer, as well as Mr. Incredible does. She also has hypothyroidism, and Mr. Incredible has hypertension. Jack Jack does have a rare bone disease, also known as Trevor's disease, and Dash has scoliosis, and Violet has hyperhidrosis and ADHD. This is the eco map I put together for the Incredibles family. As you can see in the middle, you have Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, as well as their 3 children, Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack. This represents them as a family unit. And as you can see on the left bottom corner is going to be the legend, and a straight line is going to be a positive relationship, while a zigzag line is going to be a stressor. And the arrows are going to indicate energy flow. Starting at the top with church, as you can see, there are 2 arrows going to Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl. As you can see, this does have a heavy impact on their relationship. As you can see with skin cancer on the right of that, they do have a zigzag line, both going to Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl. This is something they both deal with, and it does impact their life, but not in a positive way. As you can see next to Elastigirl, there is an arrow towards Elastigirl and away from Elastigirl for counselor. She does love her job, and she feels that this has made her a better person. And below that is the bone disease I was talking about earlier that Jack Jack has. These 2 lines are going to Elastigirl and Jack Jack. As you can see, there is zigzag as well, indicating a stressor in the family. More specifically with Jack Jack and Elastigirl, because Jack Jack does deal with this on a daily basis, and Elastigirl, being the mom and the caregiver, she does have to tend to Jack Jack and his needs. Moving on to friends and social group, I did use positive lines and arrows going both directions, as this does impact Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack's life in a positive way, and they also love their friends at school as well. As you can see with Violet and Dash, you have two positive lines with two arrows for cheer, dance, and powerlifting. While Violet did partake in powerlifting and cheer, Dash does partake in dance, and this is something they both very much enjoy. As you can see to the left of that, it has an arrow going to Violet that says scholarship. This is something that has impacted Violet in a positive way for college. And the most important thing for this family is quality time, as you can see in the left upper corner. This has positive lines going to every member of the family, as well as arrows going in both directions as they enjoy quality time, and this definitely impacts their family. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is the bank manager up at the top, and this is going towards Mr. Incredible. As you can see, there is only one arrow going to him. He does have some things going on in work, although this is not a stressor. The bank manager position does give Mr. Incredible what he needs to provide for his family. This is the Duvall's family 8-stage life cycle, and specifically with the Incredibles family, they are going to be in the stage 5. This is because Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, they live with teenagers, and their oldest child is 20 that still lives at home, which also puts them in this stage as well. And there are a few key aspects with this specific stage. For instance, promoting independence is very important. As they do get older, they do need to do things on their own. As, for example, Violet and Dash both have cars and they drive, so they do promote independent tasks. But at the same time, it is very important for this family to work as a unit and to communicate. And another big thing, especially with these children going to school, discipline is very important as well, and socialization in school. And along with this, different sports that they may be interested in. For instance, Violet was in cheer. Now she is more in powerlifting. And with Dash, she does dance. So this is also playing a role with the parents supporting the children's interests in school as well. Now we're going to talk about the communication patterns of the Incredible family and what type of communication each family member holds. If you look at Mr. Incredible and Violet, they are both a functional sender, which just means they are able to effectively communicate their perceptions and feelings at the intensity that these are felt internally. And they also send congruent messages as well. They typically use I want, I feel, and I intend statements. As you can see, for Elastigirl, she is a functional receiver. She listens, gives feedback, and she asks for clarifications and validates what the other person is communicating. This does make sense for Elastigirl because she is a counselor, so she is very, very good at communicating and listening. And the last two with Dash and Jack Jack, they are both dysfunctional receivers. So part of this does play a role in their age. They do fail to listen. They hear the message, but they ignore it. And they do interrupt the communication of others, and they make assumptions, and they don't clarify or validate what the other person is feeling. The next thing that I'm going to discuss is the different power bases that each of the family members hold. I did choose the syncretic form for this family because as a family they do make joint decisions, and when these are made it regards all the family's decisions and activities. This family is very effective in communicating, and they do not like doing things without each other, so all of them love to voice their own opinion. With Mr. Incredible on the left side, he does have reward power. He stems from the expectation of influencing, so he typically will do something positive in response for another person's compliance. Specifically with behavior, as you do have 3 teenagers, you're going to want good behavior, so they do reinforce positively, such as ice cream, movie nights, things like that, to show them that they are appreciative of them. With Elastigirl, she does have referent power, and this just means that the other family members have a positive identification with her. She is the mother, so this does make sense in that aspect. She's the caregiver, and she's also the role model for the children, so they do typically look up to her more than they do Mr. Incredible. Violet does have resource and expert power. This power comes from having the greater number of valued resources in a relationship, specifically with friends, attributes, college, different things. She is a very hardworking, sweet girl. She is in a sorority. She does put herself out there. She is in nursing school. She has scholarships. She's definitely worked hard. For Dash, he does have helpless or powerless power. She does play the victim role. She does make people feel sorry for them in their situation or condition. And with this age specifically, Dash is looking for attention. With Jack, lastly, he does have tension management power, and this is derived from the control that this family member achieves by managing the tensions and conflict in the family. So he does pout, he disagrees a lot, he causes tension through the family, and he debates and can cry sometimes. He also does this for attention as well. Next, we're going to talk about the formal and informal roles with each family member. First, we are going to talk about Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible with the formal roles. Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible do have very similar roles for formal roles. They both are providers for the family. As I said before, Mr. Incredible is a bank manager, as well as Miss Elastigirl is a counselor. And they both care for the children. It's not just one person's duty. They both have equal parts in that. The difference is with these two, Elastigirl does have the housekeeper role, so she does tend to clean a little bit more, do the dishes, fold the clothes. And Mr. Incredible and Miss Elastigirl, they both have a therapeutic role, meaning they meet the affected needs of the spouse. So they both obviously care for each other and they do things for one another. The informal roles are going to be between Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible. Elastigirl is considered an encourager. She does praise, agree with, and accepts the contribution of others. She makes people feel important and their ideas are important and they're worth listening to. This also goes hand in hand with her job as a counselor, and she does enjoy this very much. She's also considered a harmonizer, so she does mediate the differences that exist between the other family members. She does smooth out disagreements. She doesn't like conflict, so she's going to be there to die down any rise in conversation. As well as this, she is considered the initiator contributor. She is the person that is going to propose new group ideas or new ways to change problems, or she can bring up goals that are going to benefit the family in short term or long term. And the next one, Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible both are martyr. And as parents, I'm sure a lot of parents can agree, but they are both willing to sacrifice anything for the sake of their other family members, as this is the role of a mother and a father. And with Elastigirl, the last informal role that she has is a caretaker. So I kind of said before, she is kind of the homekeeper. She's going to pick up around the house, clean, tend to the children a little bit more, but they both do play a pretty equal role in taking care of the children. So she is going to more nurture them. And with Mr. Incredible, he is a dominator. So he does try to assert authority, and he can flaunt his power every now and then, almost as an alpha way, as if he knows everything, and it could be a downfall as well. He is also considered the initiator contributor. So same thing with Elastigirl. Any problems or any goals that they want to have for the family, they will definitely propose new ideas to change problems or to create goals for the family to benefit them. So next, I'm going to talk about the formal roles for the children, which are Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack. And as you can see, each of these roles are pretty much the same. They are the same between them three. They both love each other. They all love each other. They all have a very good relationship, even though they might not communicate great at times, but they all know that they want to spend time together. They include each other in different activities, cheer, football. They attend different social events for each other, and they all also play a sibling role as well. These are the informal roles for Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack, as you can see on the right. On the right, you do see that Violet is a compromiser. She definitely is the person that comes halfway. She doesn't like conflict or disagreement. She's definitely thinking about other people. As you can see with Violet, Dash, and Jack Jack, they all are encouragers. So kind of like their mom, they love to praise, agree with, and they make other people feel that their ideas are important and worth listening to. And they do this because they look up to their mom as their role model, and they definitely want to feel important, so they treat each other with that same respect. With all three of them, again, they all are considered a follower, so they don't really go against necessarily what Mr. Incredible and Miss Elastigirl put forth. They kind of all have these same values and morals, and they just kind of follow along. With Violet and Dash, they are also considered recognition seekers, and it's very common in this age group as well for being a 20 and 17-year-old. When the older they get, more accomplishments they get, and they definitely want some attention their way, so they can kind of brag about that. And lastly, with Jack Jack, he is also considered a bystander. Doesn't really involve himself. He just kind of stays out of it. Communication, when it comes to planning, he'll voice his opinion, but he'll just kind of sit back and let everyone else kind of deal with it. The next thing that I'm going to talk about are the family values that the Incredible family all feel that is very important to them, which include work ethic, education, quality time, achievement, and quality of life and health maintenance. With work ethic, everybody pretty much in the family does really value this, as they learned from Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible that if you have good work ethic, you can pretty much do anything you want that you put your mind to. And this does follow with the children as well. With education, they do have good role models. Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl both attended college, so education is very important for this family. And with quality time, as you can see in the picture, this is just a great representation of how this family bonds with each other. They love spending quality time with each other. They love going to their neighbors, watching LSU games, cookouts, family nights, anything they can do to hang out with each other. With achievement, they do really value this. This also means success for this family. And for quality of life and health maintenance, health and wellness are also very important for this family. As I said on the previous slide, they do value quality of life, health maintenance, overall health and wellness. So obviously their health care is going to be important for them. They do have health insurance. They do annual physical exams. They are all vaccinated. They have a primary care provider that they see for wellness checkups. They do go to the dentist every 6 months. They do make sure that they eat a balanced meal. Overall, they do live a very healthy lifestyle. This slide is going to show some family stressors and some things they do to cope with it. We do have the short, long-term, and situational stressor. Short-term, time management. This does affect pretty much everyone in the family. With long-term anxiety, as you saw on the genogram previously, anxiety does run in their family, and because a lot of them have it, they are dealing with it, but they do communicate with each other to help this as well. And situational, this, as you also saw on the EcoMap, this is a stressor specifically for Jack Jack and Elastigirl, but this also does play a stressor on the family as well. This isn't an easy thing to have, and this does affect Jack Jack's daily life as well as the people around him. So some of the internal coping that they do to help with this, increase family time. Like I said, they do love quality time together. So if they want to feel better, if they want to try to make the situation better, they will definitely take advantage of that and hang out with each other. Increased self-care is another one. Another coping mechanism that they do, whether it be reading, getting a good night's sleep, just something they do for each of them individually. Organizing schedules to minimize stress. So because they do have anxiety, they do get stressed out a lot. So something that they do internally is just making things a lot better for them and just organizing in advance. And some external coping that they do communicate effectively, and they gather support from their family and friends outside of that. So kind of like I said before, they obviously love quality time, but they also take advantage of that, and they hang out with their neighbors and watch the LSU game, and they go to their family's house for dinner. They definitely love quality time for other people, with other people as well. This is the first of 2 nursing diagnoses I put together for the Incredibles family. Interrupted family process related to Elastigirl working less, secondary to Jack Jack's bone disease, as evidenced by Elastigirl staying home to take care of Jack Jack and taking time away from work, and elevated stress levels. So as I kind of said before, anxiety does run in this family, and not being able to work and provide for the family, because she also is considered a provider for the family, cannot solely depend on Mr. Incredible. She also helps out with that. It does become very stressful. So a goal would be Elastigirl will demonstrate an improved family process within 2 months. Some outcomes are Jack Jack will gain more independence with activities of daily living, and Elastigirl will seek help with Jack Jack to maintain her job. Some interventions that could happen. Jack Jack will be able to dress himself without assistance. Jack Jack will be able to independently complete hygiene and oral care. And Elastigirl will reach out to Mother for help with Jack Jack's condition. And this is the second nursing diagnosis that I did put together for this family. Risk for ineffective activity planning related to limited mobility and availability of Jack Jack, secondary to Trevor's disease, which is also the rare bone disease that he has, as evidenced by development of bone tumor and exterior fixation, which these are the rods that are put into place into Jack Jack's legs. So a goal for this would be the Incredible family will demonstrate improved activity planning within 1 month. Some outcomes would be the Incredible family will find alternative activities that require less movement for Jack Jack. And the Incredible family will limit activities to inside the house. Anything that will help Jack Jack with his limited mobility. And some interventions do include family will watch movies 2 times a week, family will incorporate board games 2 times a week, and family will have family dinner every other night. And these are just some things that will definitely help out Jack Jack, but also will help out the family as a whole. These this incredible family does depend on each other a lot, and they do communicate, like I said before, effectively. So if the family can do something to help Jack Jack out, it will in turn help him out, and then in turn help the family out.